Hi, good evening. Good evening. I want to talk about health, really. So obviously, your health is your wealth, isn't it? And my feelings are that I'm a bit older now, and probably a lot of you are, to be fair. But I'm pretty fit now. I was never really healthy when I was drinking. So most of my adult life, I felt a bit, ugh, you know what I mean? Not right. Even if I was just drinking a little bit, it's not until you actually get completely clean and off it that you can focus on your health, isn't it? Because you cannot really focus on anything when you're drinking. So I wanted to just talk about general health and how to look after yourself as well, really. But first of all, you got to get off the drink, haven't you? And that's the and keep off it. Once you stop, you got to stay off it. But it's been a big eye opener for me to find out how many people have got issues with alcohol. To be fair, because when you're in the midst of it all, in what I would call active addiction, you think you're the only one that's not feeling well. You're the only one that's sick and tired of it all, and going on this vicious cycle, and losing money and losing your job, losing your life really on it with it. But when you actually get healthy again, you realize life's worth living. A lot of alcoholics are pretty depressed people. It's a depressing drug, isn't it? Hi, Red Tiger, how are you doing? Hi, Blackstone, nice to see you. Romac, hi all, how are you doing? Got a few people on quite early tonight. So, your health is paramount, isn't it? If you haven't got your health, you can't do anything. And I said last night, when you stop drinking, you can do anything you want. When you drink, you can't do any of the things you want. Because I remember when I drank, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even get out of an apartment I was living in. I couldn't go on a train. I couldn't go on a bus. I couldn't speak to anybody. I couldn't walk. When you get sober, the world's your oyster, really, isn't it? I mean, not everyone's wealthy. I know that. Absolutely not. But you can enjoy the simple things, which is maybe a good relationship, a nice shower, a walk in the countryside. It's like a toast in the morning instead of waking up in the morning. You can't keep anything down. I used to wake up in the morning, couldn't keep anything down. I couldn't even keep a mouthful of cup of tea or coffee, and not even water. I had to have a bit of alcohol before I actually started to even feel have a wash, even really brush my teeth and all this sort of thing. So, but even before I got to that rock bottom, that was my rock bottom. Um, Even before that, life was never rosy. It never is when you're drinking all the time. You think about the days when I was sort of dry and retching and coughing up all this bile, shaking at the sink, and sometimes coughing up blood, and was so worried about things that didn't matter really. And I thought, oh, today must be a better day, and I used to start shaking, and it was horrific. When I look back, there's no way that I would go back to that. I can't afford to go back to that because I won't be here. Like a lot of you, you go back, you're going to be straight back on it. Hi, Lizzie, how are you doing? I was just thinking about you actually, strangely. I haven't seen you for a little while. Hope everything's good with you. But in the truth, as your health, when your health goes downhill, everything just topples down with it, really, because that's all you've got. That's all you've got in the end, your health. And that's why you've got to be strong as you can now. So you don't end up in a care home when you're 65 and you can't walk. And you're not going to get strong again. It's not easy, but it can be done. And that's why you've got to prioritize these sort of things. A lot of the people I met who've been sober for maybe 5 years plus look extremely healthy because the time that you spend drinking, or used to spend drinking and recovering, you can now put into healthy habits. Maybe go to the gym, go for a walk, put some moisturizer on your face, look after your feet, whatever you want to do. Personal care comes into it. And when you're not drinking, you think, I'm not drinking in the pub. I'm going to get super healthy looking, get a bit of a glow, have a little holiday with the money you save, buy better food with the money you've saved from alcohol, all this sort of thing. So you look at ways of self-improvement, I think is what I'm trying to say when you stop drinking. I read Tiger. I'm so pleased I found your channel. I've experienced a lot of your problems with anxiety. Yes, horrendous. Driving, bridges, big crowds, conference, and so on. The worst for me was the underground and crowded trains. Yeah, I've had all of those, Red Tiger. All of them. Plus more. It was the London Underground, which was a bad one for me. And that's where it started with me, to be honest. Tomorrow, I'll be back in 10 minutes, close shopping. Nice one. It's been nice, obviously. Take care. Sorry, take care. I'm going to say take care back. I've been there. Leslie, husband out of hospital tomorrow after operation for colon cancer. Doctors are Mr. Full recovery. That's brilliant, Leslie. Well, that's good news. Pleased about that. He's got out of hospital, right? And that's the doctors don't bullshit. That'll be good news, huh? Blackstone, all that time you spend on drinking, you start spending on yourself. Yes, exactly. The time, just to use a bit of moisturizer. I don't know what people do, but you understand what I'm saying. Self-care, because you neglect that, don't you? Hello, Simon. How are you doing? Leslie, I was staying in a hotel near a hospital and walked 100 kilometers. 100 kilometers? Jesus Christ, that's a hell of a walk, isn't it? About 60 odd miles, isn't it? It's incredible, especially in snowy weather and stuff like that. It's absolutely unbelievable. Well done, though. I'm glad he's progressing. So, that's another example of health. We can avoid all of the aftercare or the care later in life if we get fit now and stay fit. But it's amazing. That's Blackstone's taking the words out of my mouth, really, there. All the time you spend on drinking, all the money as well, you can start spending on yourself. Get some new gear, you just get a better haircut. All these things. Everyone who drinks has got no money. All skin, aren't they? Doesn't matter what's the TBC, God bless you all on us all great channel. Thanks for that, TBC. Okay, put the money to some use. Leslie, 15,000 steps a day. Wow, fantastic. That. Well done. It's a lot of steps. It'll keep you fit as well. You feel better for it, don't you? The hardest part for me about the gym is getting to the gym. Once you're there, you think, oh, it's quite good here. And you feel a bit better when you walk out, don't you? Because another thing, hydration is very important. I don't tend to drink a lot of water, but I do when I'm at the gym, just to fit in with everybody else. We don't go to the water machine. But no, you do drink more water, and you get fit and healthy, and you can look after yourself and spend time on yourself. And you don't have to recover anymore. You just get up when you want. It's hard enough to get up early anyway, isn't it? But how I did it when I was drinking, I've got no idea now. So I watched your video earlier about the European tour. What a cape that was. Oh, yeah, the camper van. So it's quite a good video, that camper van story. You had the best exercise dog in Europe by the sounds of it. I used to take the dog out. Yeah, we've had this camper van and in a previous life. And I'd take the dog out. I used to with my own dog when I was in Epping. I lived with my ex-wife. The dog was well known in all the pubs in Epping. In fact, our parents came down to look after him when we went abroad once. When I came back with Dad, they didn't know you, but they knew the dog's name. Every landlord in every pub knew the dog's name, but not mine. But you should have electrolyte at your age at the gym. Yeah, I've seen that. Get a bottle for next knock. Yeah. My age. I like that. What does electrolyte do then? Probably it's interesting. I know they do sell it, but I have a good diet. So your mantra has to be, I want to be sober today. You keep sober, and you'll get there. You'll all get there if you just focus on it. I mean, the key thing is not to relapse, isn't it? That's the killer. There's been quite a lot in the press recently about why users of other drugs, i.e., heroin, cocaine, and such like, get more help than we do. I don't know if that's just because there's more of us, or doctors just say moderate. But we know that moderation doesn't work for most problem drinkers. It can't be done. That's what they keep banging on about and tapering off. I've only known a couple of people taper off. All the people I've met doing this last year and a half, I've only met a couple of people who've actually managed to taper off. It's quite rare to be able to taper off. Boy, you should have a I've got the, yeah, thanks, boy. Gareth, thanks to you. I mean, but we walked another 5 miles today. It helps. Brilliant. Yeah, it's good. Exercise is really good. Magnesium, potassium, sorry, our age, yeah, our age. Anything over 35, get electrolytes. Yeah, it's a good tip, yeah. Exercise. Even if you haven't got a dog, go for a walk, and just keep yourself moving. Your body will, thank you for it. You get a better sleep as well if you've done some exercise, don't you? You think about the days gone by of maybe a Monday, take a sick leave day, wouldn't you? And then you just lie around all day thinking, oh, I feel very well. Have a couple of drinks about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, trying to get you over the withdrawals. And then the whole day is wasted, isn't it? I was surprised how many people over COVID, I was in hospital, but instead of supposed spoken to people, interviewed people, and spoken to a lot of others. During COVID, a lot of people used to just sit in the house and have a few drinks and just sit in the pajamas trying to log on to whatever they did. I couldn't log on my work. I mean, I'd be tired by COVID. Being a policeman, you can just log on. But the amount of problems caused then, and there's a lot of problems now with people not working in the office anymore. And the number of people are dying of this horrendous with this substance is incredible. Listen, as an addict, all you can do is take. When you get sober, you can start to share and give. That's a good point. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you become a better person, aren't you? It's as simple as that, really. A better person, more reliable, more consistent, more helpful, and your life's better. Actually, people treat you better. Have a bit of crap with the people in the tills and shops and that, it's different. You just feel different. You can actually relax without alcohol, which is a massive thing. So yeah, somebody's asked here, why moderation fails for most drinkers? Don't know. Why do you think it does? With me, I had no off switch. Every time I tried to drink in moderation, it failed. That's the problem. Because I think I'll just have 3 today. But it would always turn out more, wouldn't it? No matter how hard you try, you can't do it. It's very bizarre. Hello, Richard. How are you doing? Nice to see you. You can try again to moderate it and slow it down a little bit. But it never works, does it? Peter O'D, how are you? When you were in the Met, did you ever do the early house at Smithfield's meeting about after night duty? Yeah, I did, yeah. And we used to go to a place in East End as well. You'd be proud by 10:30, yeah, but sometimes we used to go to come back to the West End. But I've had a day off and I didn't have to come back at nights. It was fucking crazy, wasn't it? But was it packed? Oh, the place it was always packed, wasn't it? For the postmen, the doctors, nurses, people selling hooky gear. Nobody give a toss, do they? Do you remember falling asleep on the underground, Pete? Many times I did that. End up on the other side, on the other end of the central line twice. Hello, Glenn. How are you doing? Simon, when you stop, it's like traveling back in time. You meet yourself again, a much wiser and much more rounded person. That's a good way of putting it, yeah. It's like traveling back in time, but back to a time where you wanted to be. I always wanted to be like this. Pretty settled in my mind. Have a good relationship. Have a little bit of money. Not that I've got a lot of money, but you know what I mean? Just be able to not worry. The biggest thing for me was always worrier. I think, but mother keeps saying you did worry when you were young. But I think that I didn't worry that much in my 20s, but the anxiety piled on when I drank. That's my problem. So the drink put out the worst of me. Like alcohol brings out the worst in everybody, actually, doesn't it? What the worst traits. Dennis, hi, Silver. Good evening, all. How are you doing? Nice to see you, Dennis. Hope you're doing well. So, do you think it brings the worst of us? The worst traits in us out? I'm not sure. A lot of talk about that. This is a good question. The hidden ways alcohol is damaging your health. There's lots of hidden ways, isn't it? Pete, yes, I used to skip the breakfast and just take drink. I used to live in Wickford, Essex. It was a painful journey home. Yeah, I was an Epping, so it's a nightmare, isn't it? See, I never knew that alcohol damaged your pancreas. And I know a lot of people who had pancreatitis or people who died of it. Also, I wasn't really that aware of the amount of people that had heart issues because of alcohol. I knew it raised your blood pressure slightly, but I didn't realize it could cause strokes and all that. So, I didn't realize it could cause brain disease. There's so many bad things about it, and it's really, really not a good thing to be involved in, is it, at all? But we're never warned about it. But we know now, so it's up to us to keep sober. But there will be people who come on regularly that will relapse, like I did. I've relapsed before. Simon, I travel on the tube every day for work, and you can spot those who are struggling a mile away. Yeah, you can now. I can now. I don't live in London, but I go there visiting and whatnot, and I can see them a mile off. You're right. I can spot them in the airport as well, or in a queue at the Asda and the supermarkets, slightly sort of blowing in the wind a little bit. I'd say a bit edgy. That's the thing. Quite flushed. And then you look at the shopping basket, and it's like 28 quid worth of booze and 2 bags of crisps. That's a big giveaway, isn't it? And I was like that. I mean, that camper van video I did at night, there was more booze in the camper van than there was in the hypermarket. And that's the way we go, because we stock up, don't we? There's nothing people stock up. They're so frightened, so worried about running out of it. And that's a big cause of anxiety, isn't it? People, think, "Oh, I'm going to run out of booze. What will I do now?" But yeah, you can see people a mile off. But your wet brain and Wernicke syndrome are awful. Yeah, all these things happen, don't they? And also, it's linked to 7 types of cancers, isn't it? As well, alcohol and kidney problems, and also malnutrition, muscle wastage because you're just drinking alcohol, you're not eating properly, or exercising. Blackstone was a sad sight on the bus, a middle-aged guy, hunchback and twitching, drinking a bottle of wine, so glad I'm away from that life. It's amazing how many people you see struggling, isn't it, when you're sober. You don't really see much when you're in active addiction. Glenn, women hide it well. Maybe, yeah, you may be right on that one. I know that liver disease deaths for women has gone up between 30 and 40% in the last 5 years, which is huge, isn't it? Which is a massive difference. Maybe that's what to do with COVID. I think that women tend to drink a bit more. There's more single people, more social. They're just drinking in the house as well, isn't it? You can see. I see people now, because I've been retired a few years, more or less run into the supermarket at 5:30, 5:45, get a bottle of wine, a ready meal, a couple of bottles of wine, a few cans, whatever they get. And that's their day, and they're so stressed at work and driving back in the traffic and all this sort of thing. Get a few drinks, just relax. Sort of bed and work, isn't it? Come off from work, a couple of drinks, a quick meal. They don't cook properly. Got anything nice, and they just have this bottle of wine, get crash out to sleep. It's not a healthy way to live, is it? It's horrendous. That's why there's a lot of diabetes as well, I'm sure. For the obesity and not eating properly. There's a lot of alcohol problems. Well, there's non-alcoholic causes, really. Fatty liver disease and that sort of thing. Up any alcohol is like cursing my family, and I'm the only one fighting it. Trying to stop feeling a bit. Just found empty pint under my bed. I'm usually better at hiding the evidence. Well, it's horrendous trying to hide things. It's a full-time job, isn't it? Blackstone, you don't see a lot of women staggering around during the day. That's true. Yeah, you don't see them in Wetherspoons, do you? You don't mind. It's a good point. Leslie also falling over stitches in face and broken nose. Yeah, we've been through the mill, you and I, haven't we? You don't see women as bad, but some women do get into a state. I mean, I know that's from when I was in the police, when I was custody officer, booking prisoners in. Women used to get really hammered. But they weren't, they were still in the minority. Give a relapse today, my body couldn't handle it, being thrown about that. Jesus, Kiwo, what's happened there? What was the trigger for that relapse? Sorry to hear that, but it's not the end of the world. Get stuck in with us and get yourself back on the wagon again, Right here, loaf of bread and 10 cans, that was me. Wow. Yeah, it's a lot of cans, isn't it? I used to drink this out. I didn't even eat in the end. That's what sort of knocked my system out of sync, to be fair. Hope you do benefit from these lives. We've done about, I think, 4 in a row now. If you want them staggered out, then stagger a little bit, then let me know. If you want to support us, please hit the super chat button, which is on the site, or there's a buy me coffee link on the right hand side. The more support we get, the more we can do. Yeah, you've got to try and pull yourself together. Hi, Jumping Jack. Wow, that's so good of you to drop that in there. Super chat, Jumping Jack. Thanks as always for doing these, mate. You're welcome, Jumping Jack. It's nice to get some support on here and see everybody on here, because it's a good place to learn, I think. And it would not just learn, but keep motivated, You've got to keep motivated. Sobriety has to be your number one priority. If it isn't, then everything else is going to collapse around you. Just simple as that. As simple as that. So thanks again, Jumping Jack. If anybody else wants to support, then you know what to do. So yeah, Kibo, what exactly happened? If you've been just a sudden relapse. So that's not much. That's more than enough, Jumping Jack. Don't be daft. Well, for the meet later in the year. Stay so, everyone. Thanks, Jumping Jack. Yeah, we must arrange a meet up. We've got enough people that we should have a lunch somewhere. Just book a few tables in the restaurant. That's not a problem. It'd be cheap enough anyway, because I'm not drinking. Have you noticed the amount of money you save by not drinking to go for a meal? An Indian meal. You can go for an Indian meal for two for about 25 quid. If two of you drinking, it's 100 quid, isn't it? Such a difference. Thanks again, Jumping Jack, for that. Really appreciate it. So everything's cheaper in life when you don't drink. You don't have to get as many taxis. You just take your car. Glenn, did you always have a safe pub drinking? West End of London's pretty safe because I think it is. And Epping for us was nice as well. So I'm not the sort of wasn't like what do you call that? Hello, Marius. Marius just bought a coffee there. Thanks so much, Marius, for your support on that. Really appreciate that. Thanks, Marius. Appreciate it. And drop a comment if you want, Marius. But a lot of people just listen and learn type thing. Glenn, did you have? Yeah, safe pubs. I never had any problems. I'm not Larry. I'm quite a private person in public, if that makes sense. I used to just say I was a milkman or something. Miss Cully, hi there. I'm 4.4 years sober, 1 day at a time. Fantastic, Miss Cully. Nearly 4.5 years. Well done. It's totally different. It's a better life, isn't it? A totally different life now. Blackstone Chinese, you are spending £7 on a 30ml bottle of beer. Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? It's a lot of money, isn't it? Miss Cully, you can't hide it forever. No, you can't. You can't. Happily for me, the opportunity presents itself, and I drink not much thought behind it, except the desire not to overdo it. One is still too many. One is too many for a problem drinker, without a doubt. Miss Cully, where are you based? I'm in the UK at the moment, in the northeast of England for a while. For been here a few years actually. The long-term plan is to go overseas because I think the UK is finished. To be fair, it's so bloody expensive here. The weather's terrible. It's too expensive. How about you? Where are you based, Miss Cully? So, keyword, you haven't come out on that one. What are the main triggers for people? I have to say, mine weren't cravings. Mine were just like, I'll just float back into it because I feel better or become complacent, And look, I've got a lot of questions coming on the phone tonight. Alcohol and anxiety, the cycle, no, yeah. Anxiety comes with alcohol. It's as simple as that. I don't know anybody who has got anxious because of alcohol when they're withdrawn, that sort of thing, especially when they get deeper into the addiction stages. Penny, there is no resisting the phenomenon of craving. I never had cravings, I must admit. I used to think I wonder what it's like. And I still think today I wonder what it's like to have one. Well, not today, a couple of years ago. But I would never risk it because I know how ill I was. And that's what I do to keep sober, you see. Fast forward the tape. If you think about it, I'm going to have a drink tonight, okay? Fast forward the tape to how ill you were. How ill you're going to be. That's what you got to do. But unfortunately, the UK is finished. Totally gone. It's so expensive. It's too expensive. People on 50 grand a year are struggling. People on 100 grand a year that can live okay. 100 grand a year was a fortune years ago. 50 grand a year will keep you. You can live like a king in South Africa for that, or Thailand and Bali. Glenn, talk about weather. The big problem with lifestyle and depression in this country. Massive link, Glenn. A huge link. It's the weather. It's grey. It's miserable. Horrible. I totally agree. And where's the first place people go? 9 o'clock Wetherspoon. Hot Penny, Stephen, you well stocked. It was more protecting your supply. It was, yeah. I mean, fortunately, it didn't last that long. I was very ill for a short time, if that makes sense. And I went to hospital, and I was ill for a long time in hospital. I caught it just in time. I know that if I hadn't stopped when the doctor said you're going to die, then I wouldn't have lasted more than a few more weeks. I don't think so. And then I had to put the shunt in my liver to try and keep me alive. Really didn't get the portal vein open because my liver had shrunk so much. Miss 100% stay away from the first one. Yeah. If you don't touch the first one, you won't have any problems. Will you? If you don't have the first one, you're not good drunk. You don't get drunk. You don't go down that wrong route. You stay on the right path. You see. So if you avoid the first one, you've won, haven't you? 78, Maria. Do you drink non-alcoholic drinks, or is that dangerous to you? Thank you for all your strength. I drink Guinness Zero. Has never bothered me that. But some people it does trigger. It doesn't trigger me. I can't keep drinking bottles of Coke and drink water forever. So I do have Guinness Zero, which I think is quite a tasty drink. I like some of the thirst quencher. Kevin Flanagan, I totally agree. Thanks, Kevin. I said if you benefit from one-to-ones, please drop in a super chat if you can. The more support we get, the more we do. And coffee links on the right there. It's nice to see so many people on a Monday night, actually. Oh, you live in Epping, do you? Oh, right. I lived in, what's it? Rod Stewart's place. Copthorne, isn't it? I can't remember where he lives anyway. You know what Bury Lane is, Miss Cully? That's where we live, just off Bury Lane. And I used to get the train from Epping, the underground, up to Oxford Circus. Vince, hi Stephen Crew. Hope all is stable-ish. Yep, very stable. How are you, Vince? No problem, 78. Yeah, I think the Guinness Zero is quite good. Hot penny for me, it works on my mind physically. I'm all right. It's more like a kleptomaniac who can't stop sitting but knows their numbers. Yeah, I know what you're saying. You try to stop, but you can't. So when I'm head of the family now, having a meeting with the mental health team regarding dad's dementia tomorrow, something I couldn't do if I was drinking. Well, exactly, yeah. It's distressing, but it's manageable, and that's the thing, isn't it? These stresses that we get, we can manage now. I couldn't manage them before. I think we bury our head in the sand, don't we? When we've got a big problem, or bury our head in the beer, and it never gets any better. We all get downtime, a time we feel a bit down, but good times come back quick if you don't drink. If you drink, and it just get worse and worse, you know. Dan, and I'm a big fan of alcohol-free beers. Erdinger, yeah, I like that. I used to drink a lot of Erdinger. Rockshaw's, I never tried Rockshaw. The Bitburger's one that we managed to find in Greece, I think it was, a Turkey. My partner found it. I couldn't find any non-alcoholic beers in Turkey. It makes me feel like I'm having a pint with the lads without negative alcohol. Yeah, it does. It's good, that Erdinger. Thanks for that, Sober Swims. Marshall Jones, hope all goes well for you, Samana. Yeah, hope it goes well. So, it's not a nice thing to be involved in, but the cycle of life, isn't it? Unfortunately. I've been always grateful when I'm sober, and important matters need tending. Not grateful enough, I guess. That's just one of those things you can go slip back into it, you see, so easily. Sober Swims, I'm a social anxiety drinker. So having something in my hands lets me not binge drink. Well, that's good. Anything you can do to keep yourself, happy and healthy is the main thing, isn't it? Because like I said, we're not here long, are we? And then it's all gone. And you want to make sure that you're able-bodied for that time as well. Because if you're not, what's the point? There's no quality of life. You're just sat in a bloody flat somewhere, whether you're sober or drinking, A lot of people will drink at the end of their life as well, because they think there's nothing else to do. But my uncle lived till he was 97, and he never drank. And he was pretty fit during that time. He was the oldest one in the family, really. And he never really suffered any major issues health-wise. But he never drank and smoked. So that's not everybody's going to do that. But I know one thing: if you're going to drink heavily, you will kill yourself very early. Miss Claire, it sure is finished. I'm in Ebbsfleet, originally from southeast London. First got clean 2005. The tape, I haven't heard that one in a while. I'm sure. I know you. You might do. Don't know where I lived in. Well, I worked Catford and Bromley when I was first in Met. But I've seen you around Epping. A long time ago, so I was there though. Deland. So it swims actually. The shakes is just a warning of what will happen that way down the line. Yeah, it's horrible, the shakes, isn't it? Kevin, the speeding up of aging is not talked about enough from boozing. That's a good point. We should do some more videos on that. Because I look a lot younger than the guys that are my age who drink. I'm not just saying that. I just do. Kevin, the aging process is horrendous, isn't it? With alcohol. Because you don't do any exercise. You don't eat the right things. In fact, you don't drink. Sorry. If you drink, you don't eat correctly at all, do you? Hopefully my family are all hard drinkers, but not usually blackouts. They have high tolerance, I don't. Sounds like the family's tainted with something, doesn't it? I mean, I don't think it's genetic, to be honest. I think it's learned behaviour. I think it's more, you see people around the house or the bars or the people you family, the people your family, it's just like, if they're drinking it, you're going to they're going to have a go on you. You know, and if they're drinking water, you probably have a glass of water. It's a bit like that, really. It's a bit like the overweight family, isn't it? Or the super fit family. You know, the super fit family don't normally have a larger offspring type thing. I'm being polite here, but you know what I'm saying. Um, a dog rough family normally the kids learn through the parents. Education starts with parenting, isn't it? The same with the booze. I know a lot of people who died that I knew at school, not at school, but later on in life, in the 30s and 40s, whose parents weren't in very good nick. They'd also been smokers, drinkers, bad eaters, you know, poor diets, people, so it's like labourers and hard work, you know. So it tends to be that, I think, as well. I've been there, drinking harder than ever. I may have to go. No contact, and it breaks my heart because mum is old and I love her dog. It's a pity that you sort of pushed into it by them, isn't it? I'm not pushed into it, but you sort of follow their lead in a way, don't you? You don't really want to, do you? But because it's there, you feel a bit maybe obliged to get involved, which isn't nice, is it? Um, you've got to really you've got to really focus on it. You know what I mean? Let me just answer this. Well, in 30 minutes. Sorry about this. Just somebody asking quite an urgent question who's not really well. Yeah, I know a guy who's not well at all. He was off for about 5 years and started drinking about 3 weeks ago, and was taken to hospital. That's how quick it caught up with him. Kevin, my skin was extremely dry from the boozing. Felt older than my real age because you don't look after yourself, do you? My hair fell out. Incredible. The only thing that was in good nick after 10 years of really bad drinking, 5 years of really bad drinking, sorry, and I hadn't been to the dentist for 10, because my teeth were fine. God, life is hard enough being sober, drinking and struggling through life. Life is no life, just a pitiful existence. Yeah, it's horrendous when I look back. It's hardly existing, is it? You know. I bet they have a lot of vodka lying around and polished at times. Got to walk away. Dottie, what are you having for your evening meal? Life is hard enough. You know, people say to me, I get bored. I don't get bored. I get hard enough just getting through the day. Looking after yourself can take time, but you have to do that, you know. Hello, Paul. How you doing? Nice to see you. You have to look after yourself, and you have to put yourself first for once, because the doctor told me you have to look after yourself before you can look after everybody else. You can't look after everybody else and then you last. That's not going to work. I do crinkle chips and gravy. Sounds nice. I've had chips and gravy for years. I'll tell you what I used to like, especially after a drink. Well, I was drinking all the time, wasn't it? Chinese chips and gravy. Loads of salt. So much salt. It takes days to get right. It will if you're drinking that much vodka, hot penny. So I'm amazed I'm still alive after how unhealthy some of my habits were. I always smoked when I drank and ate terribly for days afterwards. Constant takeaways and energy drinks spit me up. 13 teaspoonfuls of sugar in an energy drink. I don't know how I'm still here. I really don't. It's a miracle, really, to be fair, the amount of drink I was taking down. I didn't do spirits and wine, but I did a lot of beer, a lot of lager. Terrible diet. Well, in the end, I went down to 9 stone, as you've heard before, and I was on the brink of death. So very, very, very close to dying. I had this horrendous, massive hernia. I used to turn over my bed. You could feel the fluid going to the hernia. And the hernia split once and he bled to death. I ended up in the resus. I'd never been in resus as a patient, thankfully. I've been in plenty of resus when I was in the police, victims of crime and all that sort of thing. But that was scary, resus. In fact, it got so scary, you sort of lie back and you think, I'm going to die. And then just let them put all the tubes in you and masks on you and all that. Resus, incredible place to be as a patient. Awesome place must be for them to work in that, you know, environment. Kevin, the energy we put into boozing, I'm now putting a healthy diet and exercise. That's exactly it, Kevin. Yeah, all the time and energy. If you put it to look after yourself, you look amazing, don't you? Snugger, and you feel amazing. Good evening, Stephen. How are you doing, Snugger? Okay, so now you don't have a belly button. No, it's just a scar. great big scar across my stomach because they had to cut the hernia out, and I got 26 litres of fluid up my stomach. That's 26 kilos in weight. So I was getting these drains every 3 weeks with a drain off the ascites fluid. When your liver gets cirrhosis, it shrinks, it becomes hard, and so nothing will flow through it. And that's where I had to put a shunt in to open up the port vein. So I was close to dying, really, but very close to dying. Actually, I broke my distal radius at skateboarding and ended up in emergency ward. Bloody hell. To it recently. Hope that's wild. Everything, the whole thing was wild. My whole life was wild, really. It's been very extreme. I never wanted to be extreme. It just seems to flow. Like even when I was in the police, I didn't want like a small police station. I want to go to West End Central in the middle of London because of the madness there. Even I got bogged that in the end. A lot of us seem to be quite extreme people, drinkers. Oh, Richard, last summer. Okay, mate. Hope you're well now. The skateboarding keeps you fit, I suppose, doesn't it? Keeps you fit. Yeah, it's amazing how many of us still here after all the carry on, isn't it? And it's good to be here because we are the chosen few to get through this, I think. Some of the UK people might remember this series. And this is a good description of, I know I keep going about Wetherspoons, the last of the summer wine crowd. The last of the summer wine are the people who go into Wetherspoons day in, day out. I don't know if that tickles anybody else, but it certainly did me. That's a lot. They stand there talking absolute bollocks, paying £1 a pint, don't they? Fucking, why did I even go there? I wasn't that skinned. However, let's get back on track here. So we asked another question here. These questions are quite handy, actually, to answer. Oh, yeah. This is another thing we do to ourselves. We tell ourselves lies, don't we? We say, I'm not as bad as him because I don't drink spirits. I'm not as bad as her because I don't drink wine. And we deny the fact we drink too much. Now, any other medical problem, you wouldn't deny it, would you? So, yeah, I've got a really bad leg. I need it sorted. I've got a great big problem here. I've got a bad back. Can you go to the sort doctor? What we do with doctors, we avoid it. When you got something fixed, you put a bit of a show on for the doctor, don't you? So, I've got a really bad leg and you limp in and all that, When the doc says, how much are you drinking, Mr. Smith? Or Mr. Smith, you go, 2 or 3 pints a couple of times a week, and you're having 16 pints a day. Is there anything else we tell the doctor lies about? I don't think we do. We lie so much about our state of health and what we're doing. Up any wine tasting is laugh. The subtle notes I drank only for effect. I've never been a wine drinker, I have to say. Never been a wine drinker. Another thing about the health side of stuff, when you are drinking, it's going to make any other problem you've got worse. It's going to exacerbate anything else that you've got, and you'll avoid going to seek medical attention or having any medical attention. You think, I can't be bothered with that. I'm going to bother them. And you just get into this rut of not doing anything at all, not looking at yourself. And that's when your health will fail. It doesn't take long for your health to fail. And it just comes down like, fast and snow for a day. You get worse and worse and worse. So, you've got to focus on that and make sure that you don't drop into this bloody well that I was in so far down. Don't let my rock bottom be yours. Everyone's got different rock bottoms, I didn't help when I was in ICU. My visitors pointed out that my heart monitor was pinging like a pinball game and everyone else's monitor was normal. Jesus, that's horrible, isn't it? I remember when I was in another time I was in intensive care, my sodium level had gone down and I was just about going to a coma. And it was 4 o'clock in the morning, moving into this ICU thing, and the guy cut in here, put a great big needle down here, get this sodium up. And I was sort of laid in this bloody intensive care bed. I couldn't move my neck or anything. There was tubes coming in here and coming out. It was all through booze. All of this, and probably say self-inflicted. People do say self-inflicted, don't they? The heart racing is hard. My heart used to race when I used to wake up after a few drinks in the middle of the night. The 3 or 4 o'clock awakening. And you're sort of shitting, your heart's pounding, isn't it? You think it's going to jump out your chest. All of this is alcohol related. All of it. Not being able to rest, not being able to focus on anything. It's all alcohol related. This is a fantastic question here about, did you lose your confidence? It stole my motivation and confidence very quickly. For a short period of time when you're drinking, you get your confidence back. But I was very ambitious when I was younger, and when a lot of us were really. And as soon as I started to get into the booze as a regular thing, I lost my motivation, and I lost my confidence as well as a person. I still did the job quite well, but as a person, I lost it. And I had a difficult domestic situation, so you can't get out of that. And all of these things get worse and worse and worse, really bad. So I guess I used to do that. I don't drink shorts, etc. They are worse than me. I would be sitting there conning no one. You're just conning yourself, stuck around you. That's what we used to do. That's what I used to do. Oh, I'm not as bad as him because I only have 4 or nearly 10. I was worse than anybody. You con yourself. That's all it is. Same as you try and con the daughter, same as you try and con the family and friends, isn't it? Really. Urban asked, how are you doing, Urban? Alcohol stole my creativity bit, but it does. It steals your light, your purpose, your reason for being, your raison d'etre, whatever you want to call it. You become. Well, I was obsessed with it. Obsessed with drinking, obsessed with trying to recover, obsessed with trying to get healthy, obsessed with everything about it. Hi, Dublin. What's up? All good, Dublin? How are you? Having a bit of a chat about a lot of subjects, really, a lot of questions tonight about motivation and the hidden ways that all can destroy your life, basically. If someone withdrawing, I could hear my pulse when my head was on the pillow. Horrendous. Yeah, I remember that. It's fucking awful, isn't it? It's just for a little bit of time we think, oh, I feel relaxed, have a buzz, reward myself. And they're chasing your tail the next day and all that. It's just awful. Does anyone else here drink due to OCD? I think we've all got to touch that. We touched on that last night. ADHD. I think we drink to try and calm the brain, quieten it down a bit. So, does anyone else here drink due to OCD, ADHD? I feel it makes quitter harder than just liking being drunk. I know what you're saying, yeah, it can be because it's a mind-altering drug, isn't it? I thought I was being extrovert, being drunk. I was just an argumentative pain in the neck. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I wish somebody, well, in my day, there weren't mobile phones, really, taking a video of me. I always just think I was all right. Rarely fell over. Never got in any trouble, apart from domestically. Never got in any trouble with the law. I was the law, wasn't it? Never had any drink drive, because I didn't drink drive. I was on the underground most of the time. Never lost anything. Never lost my keys or anything like that, Diagnosed ADHD 2 years ago. Management ADHD. Thoughts. I've never been diagnosed with anything, but I think a few of us are a little bit extreme, maybe a bit hyperactive, that sort of thing. And we use the booze to calm down. That's another big thing. A lot of people I've spoken to are overthinkers. And that's another problem. You can't switch off, basically. You can't switch off. You're going to use something to try and get you to sleep on you. Or something to try and relax you when your brain's running at 1,000 miles an hour. I think that's a big, big problem. And you've got to think about what you're going to gain when you get sober. There's so many things you can gain. That sounds familiar. Sometimes I would wake up with a start thinking the neighbours were thumping the walls and realising it was my heart thinking in overdrive. It's horrible, isn't it? That heart thumping thing. Bloody awful. Lefres, good evening, everyone. How are you, Lefres? Hope you're all okay today and saying well. I think everyone's bang on target, to be honest. It's very true that about the heart, though, isn't it? The pulse rate, it's so fast and so hard. And I used to think I was going to have a heart attack. And horrendous, man. But, like I say, you could wake up in the morning, you can't face anything until you've had a drink. You can't keep anything down, can you? Sometimes I used to have a bit of Stella and trying to warm it up. It was so cold. I had no heating in the flat and things like that years ago. I didn't want to get anybody in to fix it. I had rats and all that sort of thing. Talk about it now, I can talk about it and laugh about it. The way I was living, Jesus Christ. It was just, like I said in the past, I'd have been better off on the street. I would have got more help because nobody wants to come into your flat and see you. Nobody come and see you. If you're on the street, you get help, wouldn't you? It's really bad. I hope you enjoy these lives or you get benefit from them anyway. If you do, please subscribe to the channel. Please drop a super chat in if you want to support the channel, or buy me coffee links on the right. There's a couple of people who've already done that. Thanks very much for that. Someone, the skin of my eyeballs would look dried out. Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? The things that go wrong with you. Because you dehydrate, aren't you? Alcohol would dehydrate, you know. The first same year with the heart pumping, I did not pump fast, but just very hard, and it was horrible. That's something I didn't have in my youth. Notice I got older. Everything gets worse with a little bit of age. Doi, hi friends. Thanks for advice last night. Had my shower, changed the bedding last night, so I was relieved to have not given in temptation. Well, that's good then. Well done, Doi. Brilliant work, well done. Kathy, thanks for the phrase. Yeah, it's good advice, that. As you say, it's good to have a little group, isn't it? Well, a big group. Let's get it bigger and get more people help, because little things are just a little bit of advice, a bit of comfort from somebody. It goes a long way, you know. And being able to help people is fantastic, isn't it? Rather than being selfishly drinking, hiding cans away, bottles away, hiding his bank statements, trying to get through life is a fraud. That's all we were, we were just frauds, weren't we? We convinced ourselves we were all right, we weren't all right. Thanks again, Kathy. Hope you well. Joe Skid, I just didn't wake up with the start. It felt like I had been hit by an express train, electrical beings. That lasted 2 full years before it subsided and escaped the physical legacy. Thanks, Joe. It's very positive that you can escape. You can escape from this, because it does trap you, doesn't it? It really, really traps you, and it becomes, an impossible thing to get out of in some ways, until you eventually either change your mind so you get some help. I didn't get any help. I couldn't get any help. Mine was sort of rock bottom, like not being able to focus on the next day, and then the doctors just said, "Well, you've got to stay in. You're seriously critically ill at one point." The first, of course, you're welcome. Next step, keep going, keep moving on. Yeah, good advice, Joe. I meant it took me 2 years, so I suppose I did escape. I'm 13 years sober. Fantastic, Joe. Long time. So married about 15. 6 and a bit. The longer the better, really. The longer you're off, the more chance you've got of keeping it going, you know. But there's always a chance we can relapse. And that's why alcoholism is not curable, but it's manageable. Hoping you don't realize how bad you feel because a drink solves it for the moment. Yeah, that's the problem. Self medication is a problem, isn't it? So when you hear your heart beating, it just causes more anxiety. You think it's going to malfunction. Yeah, you do. So you worry more. I don't know how we survive the worry, you know. Oh, the worry. Vince, peace to all. Have to go now. Cheers, thanks, Vince. Thanks for popping in. Nice to see you. Hope you're well. Everybody, keep safe, keep well. Focus on health. That's the thing. Focus on health. This is a good one. This one you said, does willpower work alone with alcohol, Quentin? Not on your own. It does for some people, but very rare. I think you've got. This is the problem the UK has got at the moment. I saw a guy in Greece the other day. He can get diazepam by just walking to the pharmacy and get it. As long as you don't overdo it. And that's the problem in this country. It's very difficult to get any help, isn't it? The amount of people I speak to and talk to, none of them get any help in the UK. I don't know what's going on here. Why we're not recognising it? Because you get more help in France and Germany than you do here. The UK is so strict with this medication, these benzos. I know you can get addicted, but you're already addicted to alcohol. So why not give something a go? The doctors will argue to the blue in the face. I don't know why you get addicted. But, you're not going to be addicted if it was given to you in a controlled way. I'm not about a controlled environment, just, the same as the heroin addicts get their methadone once a day. You go and get your diazepam once a day. Somebody pick them up for you. I mean, I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't move. Somebody would have had to come and give me them physically, RJ seen his last video. I was just the sorry, I meant 2 years. So about let's do that one. So yeah, you're very careful with everything. Careful with meds as well. But the first thing you can do is to start and cut down. If you can't give up, start and cut down at least. It will help you somewhere along the line. But it's a deep problem. It wants to find the weak spots to activate again. That's why connecting with others is key. Yeah, I agree. You have to connect with other people. George, in the UK, they want this on antidepressants, not benzos. they're as bad as each other. Although Librium saved me many times back in the day when docs prescribed. Do they not do the Librium anymore? I never had that. It was just diazepam. I was maybe before your time. But the diazepam to me was a gift because I wasn't frightened of having seizures, you see. When I had that, I thought, oh, this is going to stop me from having the seizures. Once you've had a seizure, you're terrified of it having another one. And that's why you won't start them in, because you know it's going to cause you real big problems. So it's strange. I've heard that the dictionary antidepressants are pretty smarties, aren't they? But not so much with the benzos. I don't know. The antidepressants don't save lives, but the benzos will. I kind of stress enough how dangerous it is not to give them out because people will just die. They're going to die of seizures, aren't they? Or they'll find no other way out. They're just going to die of liver failure. I nearly did, as it were. Hard playing against pharmaceutical therapy. Oh, that really hurt to come off. The thing is, I tried to come off without any meds and it nearly killed me. Hot penny. So that's a counter argument for that, isn't it? You've got to have something. Actually, NHS will prescribe diazepam no problem in a supervised detox setting, but won't do it for home-based recovery. They used to do it, didn't they? They're afraid of the liability if it's mixed with alcohol. They used to do that, but the thing is, to get into a supervised detox is virtually impossible in the northeast of England. Virtually impossible. I don't know about the rest of the country. Benzos, a lifesaver, and I really mean that. Definitely, someone 100% agree with that. So urban, you can't get them here. You can't. I can't. I don't know anybody who's managed to get into a supervised detox centre. Maybe there's another way. I don't know. Let me know. And Marcia Jones, benzos are needed for some people. Yeah, definitely work for me. I could actually get off the booze quite comfortably, and I did long stints of sobriety as well. It's not as I was going back every 3 months. It was like 8 years. 2 years, 4 years, 8 years. So I was off the drink a long time, really. Up in Librium or a week of benzos is good medicine, but can't get it. And then people go to the internet and it's not the right stuff. Then they get worried about that, then they drink with it because of the anxiety levels, and so it goes on. And it creates a much more dangerous situation for people, doesn't it? If they get it off the internet and it's not the right gear, and then they're worried about whether it's not the right gear and all this sort of thing, So it's just not an easy fix at all, is it? To be fair. Happily seizing with an overworked heart is deadly. Incredible, terrible. Urbanized the situation is catch-22. To avoid the insanity of withdrawal, alcoholics must continue self-medicating with alcohol. Yes, that's it. So where do you go from there? How would you improve on that? It's impossible, isn't it? That for me, years ago, it was an impossible situation. That's why I drank and nearly died. It wasn't just me. There was other people in that. There's been thousands of me, and you can't get the help. So when people say you must get help, where are you going to get the help? Where are you going to get help? Because there isn't any. Not here. Joe, Librium is not strictly a benzo. A skeletal muscle relaxant that can help lessen the chances of seizures. That's exactly what we need, isn't it? That's exactly what we need. Wow, Dublin. Thanks so much, Dublin. Mental health, £10 support there. Fantastic. Thanks, Dublin. Mental health for me is absolutely night and day from drinking to not drinking. It takes most of a week to fully sober up and to ease out of anxiety and depression. I don't even drink that much anymore. That's interesting, that because mental health was the same for me. I think I noticed my mental health go down faster than anything else. It was very hard for me to sober. In fact, the last time I couldn't because I couldn't get the benzos. I couldn't get the diazepam, so I just drank myself virtually to death. But it's a real. It's a killer, isn't it? It's as simple as that. It's not a good place to be fair. But yeah, my anxiety took it out of me a lot. So you on and off a bit of Dublin. That's the thing, isn't it? On and off, I see. Most week to fully sober up and to ease out of anxiety. Even if you don't drink much, Dublin is still going to get you, isn't it? The anxiety is fucking dreadful. Something we're not warned about either, isn't it? Thanks again, Dublin. Fantastic support there. Really good to see. Thanks so much. So when a doctor prescribed me over 200 Librium tablets, my alcoholic mind was already thinking that's enough for 2 detoxes. Yeah, maybe they think you're going to come on it and come off the booze and on it again. I don't know. That's a good point, Dublin, about the mental health. There's not enough done about mental health. Cause I felt really down in the hospital, and they said, "Oh, they're going to get me some help." Nobody did follow it up. Take care, evening, Steve. Diazepam also stops petrifying hallucinations. I wouldn't have been able to quit without them. They're essential for the first week. So how did you get them, TK? Because I couldn't get them. Marcia, it's cruel not to help people in a catch-22 situation. I agree. Thanks, Marcia. Samara, Dublin, cheers, mate. Thanks again, Dublin. How can you think alcohol makes my brain swell? Not good. Of course, it damages the brain, doesn't it? Dublin, thanks so much. Lots of coffee. Drink plenty of coffee, yeah. Not as much as Mike the other night said he had 23 coffees in a day. That's a bit extreme, isn't it? But, got to keep going. Focus on your health. Focus on being good. Take it. I know a man knows a man. Okay, that's interesting. I did get some off the internet, but I was so scared. Scared. Sounds like a teenager. I was so worried that it would get adverse effects. I took them alcohol. It made things worse, you see. I would have given anything to get some proper diazepam. In the end, I did go to the doctors and caved in with him and said, I've been taking these off the internet. So he was going to hang me. We didn't. He just said, well, there's some more proper ones. But it wasn't enough. That's the problem, isn't it? Yeah, it's not good, Marcia. Here, how's Stephen? Just out about trying fishing up market shopping on our Martin Luther King holidays. We are best everybody in the house of chat. Thanks, Howard. Well done. Nice one. That's a sticky wicket, Steve. Yeah, it's not good. Internet's not good. Joe, I used to get about 50 and I walked out of the doctor's surgery happy as hell, knowing it was my comfort blanket. Once I sold them all for measly £5, God was regretful the next day. Yeah, you should give meds away like that. Gold dust, aren't there? There shouldn't be gold dust, though. This is the thing with alcoholism. I can never understand this. You go in with a chest pain, they put in all sorts of monitors, send you to hospital, give you things. Well, thanks so much, Brian, for the coffees. Massive support of Brian at the channel. Brian's bought 3 coffees. Fantastic support. If you want to support the channel, then please do. You know what you're doing now, so this is good. And thanks again for that. Had some good support tonight, good chat as well. I think it's becoming quite a good place for people to come in every night now and have a chat and sort of get to know each other and share experiences, because there's nothing better. It's strength in numbers, isn't it? And you're not alone here. Thanks again, Brian. Thanks to everybody in Dublin and everybody else who support us. Amazing. Not sure people sell them around here, but are they genuine? That's the thing. Are they genuine material? Because if they're not, that can take you down a whole world of trouble again. You see, and you've got no control over that. At least if you get them from the doctor, you might think, well, you will get the right stuff from the doctor, won't you? I mean, it could be anything, couldn't it? But I was so desperate, I used to get them, and then I sort of got hooked on them, I think. Yes, they're in a box. I know what you can put in a box, but I bought some Sauvage aftershave in Turkey. It was in a box, but it's not right. It's not the right stuff. There's a lot of stuff missing from it. It's like anything hooky. You've got to be very, very careful, Marcia. But I understand your point. Midnight, hi everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful show there. Hi, Midnight. Thanks for all your excellent comments on the channel, by the way. If you do enjoy it, please hit the likes button and we'll keep growing the channel as best we can. Samana Joe absolutely made great having the security of a free get out of jail detox. It shouldn't be like that, though, should it? It should be, if you're in a mess, here's the pills. Unless you went every week, of course. But I hadn't been for 8 years. So there you go. I'm not going to go on about that. It's past now, isn't it? I've got myself more or less sorted. Librium is the brand name for something epoxide, which is a benzo that's very effective. There's only prescribed for short-term use, after which relapse is very likely, unfortunately. Right. So what I think there's 4 times of this diazepam, and I was off for 2 years, 3 years, and 4 years. Then 8 years. So it was working for me, wasn't it? What was the problem? And what's the problem we're giving to you? I'm in touch with a guy at the moment locally who's really struggling. He's been to A&E a number of times since Christmas, and still won't keep him in. Won't give him anything for it. Taper down. Where's this bollocks coming from? I said it's very hard to taper off, isn't it? Libya's not a benzo. Okay, thanks, Joe, for that. It's just you need something, don't you? They'll treat other people who have got a bad day. They'll give them something. You're not got a problem. All right, back of the queue. It seems that way to me. Maybe I'm overthinking this a little bit, but I do obviously doing this channel. I speak to a lot of people, and a lot of them come up with the same story. I can't get any medication. I can't get any help. They sent me to a community group and it was full of heroin addicts and didn't get it, or so and so on. The same old story. They can't get help. And it's horrendous. You can't get help when you're really at rock bottom and you're desperate for help. Helping relapse is very likely anyway. It's like grace from God if you don't relapse. Yeah, I can't see myself relapsing now after being told I'm going to die. After that 2019 episode, the doctor came and sat on the bed and he said, "You'll probably not see me again." I'll never forget his words. And I'm here just to tell you something. It was Sunday morning, and I was horrendously ill then. He looked like a bloody film star because he looked so healthy compared to me. And he said, "I guarantee if you drink again, you'll be dead in 6 months." I said, "I'll take that on board." He shook my hand and walked away. I never saw him again. A bloke called Christian Dipper, who's head of acute medicine in the Northeast. What a geezer. He saved my life, as well as the hepatologist I've got. So there are certain people who come in your life and they'll give you the heads up on life, really. And my hepatologist specialist as well, incredible person. So, listen to the people who know. And there's a few people on here know what they're talking about. And they'll tell it straight. Relapse is more likely if they don't get help. Definitely, yeah. So I want to ask for heminurin. Is that if you get a hospital detox, bite the capsules, you get an amazing euphoric buzz. That's hard to get a hospital one now, isn't it? The first he helped you save your life, Steve. But in the end, you saved your life. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you got to keep off the booze. But if I tell somebody, you're going to die, I know you're going to die, you should wake them up a little bit. But I understand for first, it's up to me now. I've got no desire to drink. I like being alive. When you're so close to death, then you realise how precious life is. Moshe Exo knows all the tricks of the trade. He does, man. Well, he's ex-military, isn't he? Like the geezer from Dad's Army. Who used to carry all the gear. How I love Euphoria. I used to like Euphoria, but I listened to a song last night called Euphoria. And I was euphoric, actually, for a little while. Just a bit of music. Joe, even the name Librium implies freedom. I didn't know that. Thankfully, I haven't needed them in a long time. That's good, Joe. I couldn't get them. I couldn't get anything. Everyone's just get. Benzo is a class of drugs. Librium was specifically chloroperoxide thing. Under that class, it was the first one ever developed and rarely used now, see, right? So what do you suggest of the UK then? Because I don't think many people are getting help. Not medical help like this. It seems to be most people ask me to get this telephone number to go and visit this community centre type place or community hub where they might or might not get anything. Because I went down feeling absolutely terrible. Got to get there. And just said, taper off a bit and come back tomorrow and all this crap. A bag full of diazepam would have done the job. So there we go. But, we can mitigate that now because a lot of us here are sober, aren't we? The ones who aren't are starting to get sober, which is good. The only problem you've got when you get to is this relapse as well. It's another thing I've got to try and hit on every day, which is the first, don't have the first drink. You won't get drunk. You don't have the first drink, you'll be okay. Because as soon as you get on that first sip, the first half a beer, then you're back on. Everyone has the same problem with it. Anything that has an addiction potential will be tightly managed by any medical system. They are afraid of lawsuits, at least in the US. Yeah, but I have to say, 20 years ago, they would give it out. So Keith Moon died of heavy nerve and OD. He wasn't wrong when it came to seeking the ultimate buzz. No, he was crazy, wasn't he? Hell of a drummer though, probably the best drummer the UK has ever produced. Was he a UK guy, Keith Moon? And obviously John Entwistle was the probably best bassist I've ever seen. Because I used to play the bass. He was incredible. Roger Daltrey's still around, isn't he? But yeah, fantastic band. And Pete Townsend, what a band they were, man. They were sort of the U2 of the 1970s, 80s, weren't they? To be honest, they were a fantastic band, folk piece. But Keith Moon was a character and a half, wasn't he? But in order to keep out of the benzo battle, as it were, let's have to look after ourselves, haven't we? We've got to look after ourselves. Todd Penny Mooney was a connoisseur of the ultimate buzz. He was, man. Extreme. That's what I mean about us. We're extreme people. Hi, Catherine. How are you doing? Long time no see. Nice to see you. Hope everything's particularly good with you. Midnight Kitty, how many use alcohol to ease pain? I know one guy who says it's the only thing that makes his injured shoulder feel better. I think a lot of people will do that, but they don't get addicted. Like we are. We'll just use alcohol for anything. I used alcohol when I was happy, sad, good or bad, really. It was raining, snowing, or sunny. It didn't matter to me, but it's interesting at midnight. I'm using it for pain control, you know. Irvin have a conspiracy theory regarding the tobacco and alcohol lobby's influence on government policies, especially as it pertains to competing drug companies. But that's for another chat, maybe. Yeah, we'll bring it on another day. Yeah, definitely. There's definitely some sort of conspiracy. There's lots going on at the high level, of course. There is. The phrase that desire for the first drink feels like a hump in the road to me. I have to drive myself around it. Once I'm over the hump, I'm okay for the evening. Sometimes another hump comes later on. Though. Focus, and keep playing the tape forward. How illegal it be? It helps my injured ego. Joe, can you see the real me? Can you? Yeah. He was the best player I've ever seen. Bass player. Guy from Russia's good as well. But I think John Usher was the master, without a doubt. So when I used to use alcohol to be the person I wanted to be. I think that was me when I was very young, as in 15, 16. But after that, I didn't use it for that. I used it to, let me just think, going back the years, a few drinks after, fit in a little bit maybe. Give a bit of Dutch courage, I don't know. I'm quite a sociable person. I just become more social, I think. But the alcohol industry is definitely fighting cannabis industry, especially now that there's cannabis drinks. Well, cannabis is more or less legalised. It certainly is in the UK. It's on the street. The police don't nick anybody for cannabis possession now. They didn't years ago in the Met. They just put it down the drain. Nothing's going to happen to somebody with possession only. If somebody got a suitcase full, you might get a bit of interaction from the police, but it'll be legalised. It's legalised in parts of Europe, isn't it? Catherine, hi, Savannah. Where have you been hiding, Catherine? I haven't seen cars on for a while. I don't know what's happened to her. Mad Ginger Baker. Oh, yeah. Imagine Mother's box of frogs, yeah. You're right there. Cannabis is one way to get off and stay off the booze. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think about that. I never tried it. I never smoked, so I don't know about that. I just used alcohol towards the end because I didn't like my own company living alone. I know a few people live on their own and don't really like it, but I lived on my own for a long time when I was drinking. But I don't like being on my own. My partner doesn't live with me at the moment, but that's for the future. But it's nice to have somebody in your life as well. Take care when you're in hospital, staring death in the face, and you meet the doctor who says something so wise it's impossible to forget. Yeah, I'll never forget that day. It was Sunday morning, and I thought, this guy's right. I knew then. It wasn't good. And I think people need that. They need that. I've done a lot of one-to-ones, and I've told them that, these people actually sit them down, change their mindset, and they've stopped off it. I've got quite a lot of testimonials of people who've managed to get off it. Because I've been at every level of alcoholism. It's not a good place to be. It's fucking dreadful. The phrase midnight, what about the mental health side effects of cannabis? So, yeah, there's all that, isn't there? Okay, folks, we've done just over an hour there. So let's have a good night now, I think. And come on tomorrow if you want. If you enjoy them daily, then I'll do them most days, Jack Bruce lived upstairs from my future wife in Moss Heights. Really, bloody hell. Small world, isn't it? Thanks to everyone for coming on. Thanks to all for all the support and donations. Thanks for the coffees. Thanks to Brian Morrison and everybody else, and Dublin and such like, and Jumping Jack for your support. Thanks everybody for coming on here. Thanks for attending regularly as well, because we need to keep going with this. We need to focus on it, and this is where our strength lies, I think. Because just throwing videos out, I don't think is that beneficial. To be fair, a lot of people learn from videos, and they are good. But if you actually come on and chat, I think you get a lot more out of it, and that's, it's good to see that, and people will retune and keep focused, and gives you a bit of time to think as well. Any questions, write them down and come on here and ask, because if I don't know, somebody else will. There's a lot of clever people on here, a lot cleverer than I am. A lot of people could host this, just what I'm doing at the moment. But when we get a bit bigger, then we'll sort of get some interactive stuff on, and it'll be massive. It'll be this is our year, 100%. Yeah, this will be our motivational thing. This will replace the drink for you. It really will. Get some support, keep focused, keep the questions coming in, keep motivated. Then we can all be doing something with this, and helping people and save a few lives. And it's nice to be involved in something like this. Hi, Richard. It's a bit up in the air at the moment, because I'm going away in a couple of weeks for 3 weeks, but I'm going to do them mostly now for the next week and a half, and I'll be away, but I'll do some sort of schedule. I'll try and do some when I'm away. I'm going to Africa, would you believe, for a little while, just for about 3 weeks or something. So I'm going to do some from over there, which will be interesting. So we'll board onto that as well a little bit, and then after that we'll start and get a proper schedule. But some of it's quite nice to just pop in, isn't it? Clever didn't ever get anyone so Steve. That's true, yeah, you're right. It takes anybody down, doesn't it? Dottie, well done. Brian Reese, thanks so much again for coffee. Top man, Brian. Hope you're well. Hit the light and be out. Thanks, Hot Penny. Cheers, Richardson. Cheers, Kevin. The more and more young people walk away from alcohol changes more than ever before. That's good, Kevin. See you soon. Thanks again, Dublin. Yeah, and Africa. Interesting, isn't it? I've never been long haul, so it'd be good. Go with my partner, so we'll see what happens over there. And we'll come back all refreshed and full of chicken and rice, hopefully, and a bit of sunshine. I don't know what I've done here. I'm hopeless on this thing here. That's it. Yeah. Good hell. Right, we'll see you soon. And hi, Simon. Thanks for replying. No problem, Alexander. And we'll speak to you soon. Take care, folks, and see you all very soon. And any questions you've got, keep them for tomorrow, and we'll sort them out. See you later. Take care. And enjoy your evening meal if you can have one.